The Cleveland Browns just made $6 tickets look priceless, and the stadium told the brutal story. Rows of empty orange seats stretched endlessly, captured in wide camera shots that made the field look more like an abandoned practice facility than a professional football venue. Fans weren't absent by accident. They were making a statement. Shedeur Sanders, the electrifying rookie quarterback who had promised hope, excitement, and a new era of Browns football, was benched yet again. And the message couldn't have been clearer. No Sanders, no show. It wasn't just poor attendance. This was organized revolt disguised as apathy. Even discounted tickets, cheaper than a cup of premium coffee or a fast food combo meal, couldn't fill a single section. Season ticket holders were desperate to unload seats. Casual fans didn't show up at all, and social media erupted. Hashtags like Fire Stefanski went viral. Overnight, capturing millions of impressions. One post bluntly stated, "You can't sell out a $6 ticket game. Stefanski's gotta go." Another declared, "This isn't fan-based failure, it's coaching failure." The context makes this even more shocking. Earlier games with Sanders on the field were electric. Preseason sellouts, packed stadiums, and national attention proved the kid wasn't just a promising talent. He was a ratings phenomenon. Bench him, and attendance plummets. Broadcast ratings drop. Fan enthusiasm evaporates. And it's not just numbers. It's a message straight to the organization. Prioritize your rookie or risk losing the city. Sources inside the Browns describe Kevin Stefanski's reaction as volcanic. Privately, he was reportedly devastated, pacing the sidelines, snapping at staff, and feeling the full weight of fan frustration. Publicly, though, he remained defiant. "We make football decisions based on preparation, not ticket sales," he reportedly said. But the empty seat spoke louder than any press conference. In the modern NFL, fans wield power through wallets, social media, and sheer attention. And Cleveland supporters had just delivered their verdict. Give Sanders meaningful playing time or face continued disaster. This isn't just a game attendance issue. It's a perfect storm of old-school coaching philosophy crashing into modern fan expectations. Social media scrutiny and revenue realities. The Browns' empty stadium didn't just tell a story, it screamed a warning. And for Stefanski, the question now is whether he adapts or watches everything he's built unravel in real time. The Cleveland Browns just turned $6 tickets into a symbol of complete disaster. For the matchup against the Minnesota Vikings, tickets dropped to a jaw-dropping $6, less than a cup of premium coffee, cheaper than a fast food combo meal. And yet, the stadium remained embarrassingly empty. Wide shots captured rows upon rows of vacant orange seats stretching endlessly, making the field look more like an abandoned practice facility than a professional football venue. This wasn't just a sign of poor planning or bad luck. Fans were speaking loudly, and their message was crystal clear. No Shedeur Sanders, no show. Sanders? The rookie quarterback generating unprecedented excitement had been benched yet again, replaced with a conservative offensive plan that delivered zero entertainment value. Season ticket holders scrambled to offload seats, casual fans stayed away entirely, and social media erupted. Hashtags like Fire Stefanski went viral overnight, racking up millions of impressions. One post stated bluntly, "You can't sell out a $6 ticket game. Stefanski's gotta go." Another read, "Browns can't even give tickets away. That's not fan failure, it's coaching failure." What might have seemed like simple apathy was actually an organized boycott, a protest in the form of empty seats. This game wasn't an isolated incident, it was the culmination of a pattern. Early games featuring Sanders saw packed crowds and electric atmospheres, proving the rookie was more than just a prospect. He was a ratings and attendance phenomenon. Bench him, and the energy disappears. The fan base wasn't subtle about it. The absence of Sanders, combined with conservative play calling, directly drove attendance to record lows, collapsed secondary market prices, and turned social media into a storm of outrage. Even those inside the organization reportedly felt the heat. Sources describe coach Kevin Stefanski's reaction as volcanic, though publicly he maintained a defiant front. Privately, staffers say he paced the sidelines, snapped at coordinators, and felt the pressure of fans' disapproval in real time. For Cleveland, the lesson was brutal and immediate. Without Sanders, their football product had become essentially worthless in the eyes of their supporters. The empty seats didn't just mark a failed ticket sale. They delivered a warning. Adapt quickly or face an unprecedented fan revolt. The warning signs were there long before the Minnesota disaster. During the preseason, when Shedeur Sanders saw significant playing time, the stadium was electric. Sellout crowds, roaring fans, and national television attention made it clear the rookie quarterback wasn't just a promising talent. He was the spark the Browns desperately needed. Every touchdown, every scramble, every flashy play fueled excitement and drew attention, not only locally, but across the country. Sanders wasn't just playing football. He was revitalizing a fan base that had endured years of disappointment. Then came the benchings. When Sanders was pulled from the starting lineup, the shift was immediate and undeniable. Attendance dropped in subsequent games, and the once boisterous crowd energy became muted. Television ratings followed the same trajectory, with fans seemingly tuning out when Sanders wasn't on the field. The message from supporters was simple. Without him, the Browns were no longer worth watching. Even the most desperate promotions, discounted tickets, community giveaways, and marketing campaigns failed to reverse the trend. Fans weren't buying tickets. They were sending a message. Social media amplified the sentiment. Posts criticizing the coaching staff went viral, accumulating millions of impressions overnight. One popular tweet stated, "Browns, literally, Browns, can't give away tickets. That's not fan failure, that's coaching failure." Reddit threads exploded with discussion, dissection, and debate over the team's direction, while YouTube creators analyzed empty stadium footage, generating thousands of views. The entire digital ecosystem was suddenly orbiting around the absence of Sanders, proving just how influential a single player could be in the modern NFL. Behind the scenes, sources suggest panic began spreading throughout the organization. Ticket sales projections for the regular season were declining at alarming rates. Premium seating and corporate sponsorships faced uncertainty. Broadcast partners reportedly questioned the viability of future games. The pattern was clear. Sanders' absence wasn't just a coaching decision. It was a franchise-wide problem with serious financial and reputational consequences. The Browns had a chance to showcase thrilling young talent and capture national attention. Instead, they delivered conservative football that fans actively rejected. The early signs were obvious. Ignoring Sanders wasn't a minor mistake. It was the start of a broader, escalating crisis that would culminate in one of the most striking fan revolts in recent NFL history. The lesson was clear. In today's NFL, excitement isn't optional. Fans decide which stories matter, and if you take away the spark, you risk losing everything. Kevin Stefanski was suddenly at the center of a storm he couldn't control. Privately, sources suggest he was devastated, pacing the sidelines, snapping at coordinators, and visibly frustrated as the empty seats confirmed what everyone already knew. Fans had spoken. But publicly, Stefanski remained defiant, refusing to bend to mounting pressure. "We make football decisions based on preparation, not ticket sales," he reportedly said after the Vikings game. That statement, intended to assert authority, instantly became a lightning rod on social media, fueling criticism and mockery from fans, analysts, and former players alike. The backlash wasn't just online chatter. It was a personal and professional reckoning. Social media accounts were flooded with demands, insults, and even death threats, forcing security concerns for Stefanski and reportedly affecting his family. Analysts and media personalities began questioning whether he truly understood the modern NFL, where fan engagement isn't optional but a critical factor in franchise valuation. The narrative was simple. Stefanski's stubborn adherence to old-school coaching philosophy was colliding with the new reality of football as a business and entertainment spectacle. Even within the Browns' own locker room, tensions surfaced. Veterans sympathized with fans' frustration but felt conflicted supporting their coach. Younger players, especially offensive teammates, privately questioned the wisdom of benching a player who generated so much excitement and attention. Defensive players tried to remain neutral, but they too recognized that low attendance and declining morale could directly affect performance on the field. According to insiders, multiple veterans approached Stefanski privately, suggesting Sanders deserved more playing time. His response reportedly remained rigid, reiterating commitment to development over popularity. But the cracks were visible. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Every empty seat, every declining rating, every social media backlash chipped away at Stefanski's credibility. His carefully cultivated reputation as a tactician and player-friendly coach was crumbling under public scrutiny. The situation revealed a fascinating tension between football purity and modern fan expectations. Stefanski was trying to enforce authority and development, but the market demanded excitement, engagement, and entertainment. And when fans, social media, and revenue collide, even the most seasoned coach faces an unprecedented challenge. In short, Stefanski was caught between principle and reality, stubbornness and survival. The Browns' empty stadium wasn't just a statistic, it was a warning. The question now loomed large. Could he adapt before the damage became irreversible? Or was his defiance setting the stage for a career-altering collapse? The fallout from the Browns' empty stadium extended far beyond ticket sales. It rippled through television ratings, revenue projections, and the entire organizational structure. Nielsen data reportedly showed a spectacular crash in national viewership once Shedeur Sanders was confirmed inactive for the Vikings game. Fans weren't just skipping the stadium. They were avoiding broadcasts entirely. Industry insiders were stunned. One network executive allegedly remarked off the record, "We've never seen a single player's presentation AdSense impact viewership this dramatically during a season." Sanders wasn't just a rookie. He had become a ratings phenomenon, a financial engine, and a focal point for fan engagement. Owner Jimmy Haslam reportedly held emergency meetings, analyzing revenue forecasts, sponsorship deals, and broadcast commitments. Sources indicate he was furious over the attendance disaster and demanded immediate explanations from football operations. Meanwhile, General Manager Andrew Berry found himself trapped between ownership demands to play Sanders and Stefanski's insistence on a strict developmental timeline. Behind closed doors, tensions reportedly boiled over, with heated discussions about attendance failures, potential ultimatums, and even the future of the coaching staff. Corporate sponsors and premium seating holders were also feeling the impact. Many questioned the value of partnerships, while season ticket renewals declined sharply. Marketing executives allegedly described unprecedented cancellation requests, with Sanders' benching cited as the primary reason. This wasn't just typical buyer's remorse. It was an organized protest through wallets. Every corner of the franchise, from operations to corporate marketing, was scrambling to mitigate the damage. Even the players were caught in the crossfire. Veteran teammates understood fan frustration, but tried to balance support for their coach. Younger players, especially on offense, recognized Sanders' entertainment value and the blow to morale caused by his inactivity. Social media chatter dissected every decision, every press conference, and even practice sessions, leaving Stefanski with almost no breathing room. The controversy wasn't isolated. It had become a franchise-wide crisis. Engagement, television ratings, sponsorships, and locker room morale all converged to create an unprecedented scenario. The organization faced a stark reality. Ignoring the market forces and Sanders' popularity risked long-term damage to the brand, revenue streams, and competitive standing. Every decision from this point on would be scrutinized, and the pressure on Stefanski had never been higher. The question wasn't just about football anymore. It was about survival in the modern NFL, where entertainment value and fan loyalty can determine the fate of coaches, franchises, and careers alike. The benching of Shedeur Sanders didn't just upset fans. It sent shockwaves through the entire Browns locker room. Veterans understood the frustration, but felt conflicted, trying to respect Stefanski's authority while recognizing that the fan base was rightfully outraged. Younger players, especially on offense, privately questioned decisions that seemed to alienate the most passionate supporters. They admired Gabriel's professionalism, but they also knew Sanders brought a spark the team desperately needed. Now they benched the only reason I'm genuinely excited. Done. Absolutely done. The message was unmistakable. Sanders wasn't just a player. He was the lifeblood of the fan base. Social media amplified every grievance. Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube became battlegrounds dissecting empty stadium footage, coaching decisions, and organizational dysfunction. Hashtags like Fire Stefanski trended nationwide, while viral posts criticized the disconnect between the front office, coaching staff, and supporters. Some criticism escalated to personal attacks on Stefanski, forcing security measures and creating a situation that extended beyond football. The intensity of scrutiny and backlash showed just how intertwined fans, players, and organizational reputation had become in the modern NFL. Inside the team, multiple veterans reportedly approached Stefanski, urging him to give Sanders a meaningful opportunity. Their advice was met with rigid insistence on process over popularity, but the cracks were visible. Morale, energy, and enthusiasm, all intangible but critical factors, were visibly impacted. This tension highlighted a growing gap between old-school coaching philosophy and today's entertainment-driven football landscape. Ultimately, the player and fan perspectives converged on one truth. Sanders was more than a rookie. He was the catalyst for engagement, excitement, and commercial value. Ignoring him was no longer a minor decision. It was a franchise-wide crisis, with attendance, viewership, and morale all teetering on the edge. The Browns had to confront a simple reality: satisfy the fans or risk losing everything that mattered, both on and off the field. The financial implications of benching Shedeur Sanders were immediate and severe. Merchandise sales featuring Sanders reportedly outpaced the combined sales of the rest of the roster, making his limited playing time not just a football issue but a commercial disaster. Jerseys, hats, and memorabilia flew off shelves whenever Sanders played, yet stadiums remained empty and ratings fell when he didn't. Marketing analytics made it clear: Sanders wasn't just a promising quarterback, he was a revenue powerhouse. Every empty seat, every missed broadcast rating, and every canceled sponsorship represented tangible losses that the organization could not ignore. Owner Jimmy Haslam reportedly convened emergency meetings with executives, examining revenue projections, sponsorship commitments, and broadcast partnerships. The message was clear: the benching of Sanders was putting millions of dollars at risk. Premium seating and luxury suite holders who invested for both exclusivity and excitement expressed growing dissatisfaction. Season ticket renewals were declining at alarming rates, and marketing executives described unprecedented cancellation requests directly linked to Sanders' inactivity. The situation wasn't typical buyer's remorse. It was a coordinated financial protest by fans who had spent decades supporting a franchise in turmoil. Broadcast partners were also paying attention. Networks reportedly flagged Cleveland games as potential ratings liabilities without Sanders on the field. Analysts suggested future scheduling prominence could be reconsidered as the team's marketability plummeted. The modern NFL isn't just about wins and losses. It's an entertainment-driven empire. Television ratings, merchandise sales, sponsorships, and fan engagement directly influence a franchise's valuation. By sidelining Sanders, the Browns jeopardized not only their reputation, but also critical revenue streams. The stark contrast with other teams emphasized the misstep. Competent, professional franchises might win games, but they struggle to capture attention if they fail to deliver excitement. Sanders offered both competitiveness and spectacle, a combination that directly translated into commercial success. Ignoring his marketability risked alienating fans, frustrating sponsors, and creating cascading financial damage. Ultimately, the Browns faced a simple but urgent reality. The product on the field was inseparable from the business off it. Player performance, fan enthusiasm, and financial health were all intertwined. Bench Sanders and attendance collapses, revenue losses, and declining brand reputation follow. Activate him, and you re-engage a fan base, restore revenue streams, and stabilize the franchise. In the modern NFL, every decision has a commercial angle, and the Browns were learning this lesson the hard way. The question looming over Cleveland is simple but terrifying. Can Kevin Stefanski survive this storm? His coaching philosophy, rooted in old-school principles of patience, process, and development, is colliding with the harsh realities of the modern NFL, where fan engagement, social media influence, and commercial value can determine a franchise's fate. Every empty seat, every canceled ticket, every drop in broadcast ratings is a visible reminder that ignoring the market now carries immediate consequences. Stefanski reportedly views this as a battle for coaching autonomy, determined to prove that football decisions should be guided by preparation and development, not fan demand or financial pressures. Admirable in principle, perhaps, but in practice, this stance risks career suicide. Sources suggest ownership is growing increasingly impatient. Jimmy Haslam has reportedly confronted Stefanski behind closed doors, demanding answers, while the front office weighs potential interventions if attendance, ratings, and revenue don't rebound. The pressure isn't hypothetical, it's immediate and escalating. League insiders say this situation is already being studied as a case study for modern NFL management. Traditional coaching authority is being tested by the entertainment expectations of fans. A single rookie quarterback, Sanders, has demonstrated unprecedented influence over attendance, television ratings, merchandise sales, and fan morale. Ignoring that influence isn't just stubborn, it's a risk to franchise stability and long-term credibility. Analysts warn that continued defiance could cost Stefanski both his job and his reputation, while even minor adjustments could help salvage the season and restore some trust with fans. The stakes extend beyond coaching. The Browns' competitive relevance in the AFC North is a shot that reverberates across the NFL. Empty seats, plummeting ratings, and viral social media outrage reveal the stark truth. In the modern league, fan engagement drives everything. Wins alone aren't enough anymore. Excitement, spectacle, and star power directly influence attendance, merchandise sales, sponsorships, and franchise valuation. Shedeur Sanders proved he's more than a rookie quarterback. He's the heartbeat of the fan base, a commercial force, and a ratings phenomenon. Ignore him and the consequences are immediate and measurable. Kevin Stefanski's predicament embodies a clash between tradition and modern reality. His steadfast commitment to old-school coaching principles process over popularity, patience over spectacle, is noble on paper. But the NFL has evolved. Social media amplifies every decision. Fans demand visibility, and franchises are measured as much by engagement, metrics as by wins and losses. Stefanski's refusal to adapt has placed him in a precarious position. Alienated fans, frustrated players, and an ownership team calculating financial exposure all converge to create unprecedented pressure. The situation in Cleveland also serves as a blueprint for understanding the business side of football. Attendance collapses, merchandise surges for one player, and sponsorship concerns underscore the undeniable link between fan enthusiasm and financial health. Organizations can no longer treat entertainment as secondary. It's now inseparable from competitiveness. The Browns' crisis illustrates that ignoring this reality isn't merely a tactical mistake. It's an existential risk. For the fans, the message is equally clear. They've spoken with absence, social media, and wallets. Their demand is simple: activate Sanders, provide meaningful playing time, and deliver football worth watching. Anything less risks further alienation, further revenue losses, and a deepening reputational crisis for the franchise. Ultimately, the Browns face a decisive choice: adapt or collapse. Stefanski must weigh principle against pragmatism, authority against survival, and development against fan engagement. This moment isn't just about one game, one coach, or one rookie. It's a case study in the modern NFL, highlighting the delicate balance between football purity and entertainment imperatives. One thing is certain: in today's league, ignoring the fans isn't just risky, it can be fatal. Cleveland's empty seats tell the story in no uncertain terms. Without Sanders, the Browns are a product nobody wants. And in the modern NFL, that is a reality that cannot be ignored.